Getting ready to rock and roll. It is effing Monday. It is. It's kind of weird when you kind of work for yourself and you're working 7 days a week. You don't know what Mondays really are. All right, we're gonna get kicked off here in just a minute. Just cleaning off my table here so I don't have an ADHD distraction the entire show. And then we're kicking off. That's it. All right, it's 9:03. Let's go. Three, two, one. Let's go. Oh yeah, Rocci Stucci Show Monday morning. Got my coffee in hand. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I bid this tariff Monday morning to each and every single one of you. Crazy thing, Lisa came out to me this morning. I didn't even sleep last night, I don't think. I laid down. It's one of those things where you sleep and then you wake up and you're like, did I sleep? I don't know if I really did or didn't. I don't feel like I did. You know what I mean? Or is that just the effects that society has on us? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pull something up here really quick. A couple things I want to cover, man. I want to talk about this tariff thing, and I also want to talk about language. Language. I made a post the other day. Let me shut this off. I made a post the other day in regards to just the priorities of Americans, and I use certain language. If anybody knows me and knows where I come from, they already kind of expect language. When I say language, I don't mean derogatory language. What I'm referring to is more is just I don't have time anymore to pussyfoot around with your emotions. In regards to certain things, man, there's certain things that I got strong views on, and one of them is the abuse of these children and what they do to these children because of these psychotic minds of people who think it's okay. The psychotic mind. I mean, literally, we're dealing with a class of people that believe the entire narrative script of Kamala Harris when she was a VP going to run for president. They literally changed her identity in a week. And so these are the people that are promoting science and new science, and that, yeah, okay, men can shit babies all of a sudden. It's like we're living in this weird time. And so there's certain things that I hold pretty damn strong on. And I don't know. I don't know the right or wrong way, really, if there is to say it. But I do know a wrong way. Well, no, I do know a wrong way. The wrong way is not saying it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, folks, Rocci Stucci Show, StucciMedia.com. Had a hell of a day yesterday with the damn ass back end website stuff, but on the computer for 12 hours didn't accomplish anything. Not one damn thing. Nope. Thought I was going to just have a badass day, get a bunch of shit done. And negatory. You know what I'm saying? Negatory. Let me pop this up here, make sure everything's going here. Let me go right there and just say a good morning. What's up, Spirit? Oh, man. Good morning, Miss Mary. I thank everybody for being here and the podcast. If you only want to listen to the audio, I am literally everywhere. You just look up the Rocci Stucci Show, ROCCI, if you're listening. It's ROCCI, STUCCI, Rocci Stucci Show, or just go to StucciMedia.com, and you can find a whole bunch of podcasts there, adding some more this week. Every week we're going to be adding them. So you'll hear me say that all the time. Add more shows this week. I'm in the constant search of good quality material. And, in 6 months, that website is going to be is going to be a monster. So if anybody's been kind of following it, holy shit, it's been a pain in the ass because I'm building it to be a tank, right? I don't want just the everyday blog type of thing. I want a straight, legit, compete with Fox type of shit. That's where I'm going, man. That's the level I'm talking. That's the mountain. And there's nothing else below it that's going to be acceptable to me. So everybody pay attention, and pay attention to how little resources were available when this was done. So, and the reason I say this is because I want people to understand that the last shit, I don't know how many months of my life I've literally had nothing. I don't know what everybody's definition of broke is, right? I don't understand everybody's definition of broke, but I know my definition of broke, and that's like no gas money, literally. And when you get poked to a point to where your drive is based off of anger, man, that's game time. That's everything changes, and you become less conscious, or you give less shits about a lot of people that gave false opinions, and kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know. All I'm saying is that, you know what, man, some serious shit got done with no resources, with none. And so I want people, we're going to write a book about this. We're writing a book. We already know the title of it. And the reason I'm doing this isn't going to be about me, but it's going to be about people, man, that are going through the same shit we all go through every day. All of us, it's the only people there's two different types of people. There's the ones that pretend they don't go through shit, and the ones that are just saying, man, this is life. And this shit can really be a pain in the ass sometimes. So I just want people, truly, because I know we're all beat up mentally. I'm beat up mentally. We're all beat the fuck up, And I just want people to really, truly understand that, man, it's just how much you truly believe in what you want. I can never fathom the fact of, and this is not a disrespectful thing. It's, everybody has their own little things, right? But it's just, I've had some experiences at Lockheed that I'll share here in the future as soon as I can figure out all the legalities of it. It's just difficult for me to fathom going back to that. Going back to that corporate fucking bullshit. I don't know any other way to say it. I don't. I was trying to come up with a professional word, and I couldn't, man. It's just because it's sick. Man, it's toxic. It's gross. It's the hypocrisy. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm the policy writer, but I don't have to follow them. I don't want none of that anymore. I'm so damn, I don't know if it's just being beat up, sick of the shit. I don't know what it is, but I'm so damn protective of my space. Maybe too much. So much so you're like, holy shit, I'm isolating my shit. Whoa. But it's just like if you get to a point to where you've been hit left and right, beat up and down, knocked up, knocked down, kicked, slapped, punched, elbowed, off the turnbuckle shit. Just kind of get to a point, man, where you just want to live. And in order to do that, and in order to find that sanity, because the one thing you realize is that insanity is everywhere around you. It's everywhere around you. So, you have any arena you choose to jump into, you're allowing that into your life. And so now it's just like, whew, man, give me that damn bunker. That sounds real good. I could set up shop down there. I'm just kidding. And that's so weird because all my life I've loved people. And that's how much this world can really beat you up. Mary says, Ron Paul was right when he said, truth is treason in an empire of lies. Holy shit. Whew. Mary's dropping some shit right now. So anyways, I will keep everybody updated on the book. I will share this story. I hope it helps people in the future, but let's get into some business because there's a couple things. Mary she says that Ron Paul was right when he said that truth is treason in an empire of lies. I didn't realize, Mary. So I'm gonna do something here. Let me start out like this. Let me go back a second because we're gonna talk about the perception of the disagreement arena within the social media sphere, right? And man, I got a buddy. I love him to death. I do. I love him. I tell you, I'm not tribal. I'm not tribal. I know I get put in classifications and I have my views that put me in those classifications, but I don't claim tribalism to nothing. But people automatically put me in that category. And as do I with other people, just based off of how much they scream their views. It's just how it happens. But when I start seeing shit, man, when people start sentences by fascist Nazi, yeah, I'm gone. I'm done. Not even gonna read it. Not even gonna read it. And I felt terrible because I love the dude to death, but it's just like, dude, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. Before I continue, though, I want to read this though. Let's see what she said. Uh, the beatdown we've all taken was 100% by design, created no pain and fear that will accept anything just to make it stop. It's sad how many people relent to the tear, or how many people relented to the tear. What? Honestly, we said that, man. It just, we just want to exist. I said it last week, man. I made a little reel. It kind of came out pretty good. It had cool music to it. Man, it was flowing. But it's just like, where do we exist? Remember we were talking about that? It's that existence part. We become so robotic, or everything we do is exterior, or we got to make sure we're doing our 9 to 5. There's this one lady, this hospice nurse, and she wrote a book about how did people's lives change. How did people's lives change once they found out they had a terminal illness? And holy shit, man, that's it. I mean, if you're open to life and thought, and if you're a critical thinker, I mean, I'm serious when I say that. I'm not being like kicking you in the head if you're not. There's certain people that go certain depths, man, when it goes into this like thought of life. And most of us never even get there. We think we do, right? Because we're doing this robotic thing that we're taught. But when you think about the things that would change, like this guy who worked the same job for 30 years, same house, 30 years. He didn't appreciate his view and the scenery of his drive to work that he drove every day for 30 years. Not one time did he ever stop to appreciate the scenery. What up, Steph? And so it's just like, wow, think about how profound that is. Uh, the fact that somebody only appreciates something when they know they're not going to have it, when they know it's going to get taken away. I mean, it's crushing. This one lady said, part of the same book, where she was talking about all she wanted to do because she was in hospice and she was sick for so long. She had cancer. She couldn't go outside. She couldn't breathe certain things. So she was trapped, right? Just to survive, just to keep life going. And all she wanted before she took her last breath was to go outside on a swing. It's like, holy shit. What? It's like that is what it comes down to. And I am probably the first, maybe second person, maybe third person in line of guilt when it comes to how certain thing we get kind of caught up in life. But when we realize we're gonna die, we look, everything changes psychologically. But Lisa and I were just talking about this. You can't kick yourself, and you can't punish yourself simply because you were surviving in this world. Because I don't know. I mean, if you weren't trying to survive, so you could make sure you go see those flowers on the side of the road, well, you better really appreciate them because that's where you're going to be living. And if you're okay with living outside in the woods, then yeah, don't worry about it. So I see a lot of people, men and women, they get to a point when they retire and or they're find out that, you know, they ain't got a lot of time left. And then everything about how they see everything changes. And I'm conflicted with that because I don't understand. I don't want to punish myself in later years for just trying to be a man and give my family a comfortable life because, man, you got to work hard to have an uncomfortable life. So to have a comfortable life, man, holy shit, you got to really have your shit together. And it's all I ever wanted was them to just, when you grow up broke, you don't want, people you love to go through the same shit. And so I can't speak for you women, but I can speak for some of us men. And in our heart, our drive as a bull, as a lion, as the king of kings, that's what we do, and that's what dignifies us. And so, leave it the fuck alone and stop kicking yourself in the face for doing what you had to do to survive. That's all I'm saying. You did what you had to do to feed your family. You may have missed that play, and yeah, that's terrible. But we can either raise our kids to teach resentment or we can raise our kids to teach appreciation. It's all perspective. right? It's all how we want to say, wow, daddy was out busting his ass making money so we can have those T-bone fucking steaks. Or, no, daddy made sure he was here, but we can't go to the park this weekend because we ain't got no gas money, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, damn. All right, so I want to reference something here, though. I got a point. Spirit, Mary. Hi, Spirit. Hi, Steph. Hi, Mary. Group hug, everybody. What? Okay. Where's Bauer at? Still sleeping. He's still sleeping. So let's continue with this saga of trying to explain your independent identity to the world. I made a post, and I'll read the post. I'm going to try not to read the comments, so I know I can just click right on the comment. Yep, all right. I'm not even going to read it. All right, so it says weird. It said, I watch people venomously hyper-focused on blaming, finger-pointing, and ready to prosecute Trump for every crack in the ground. Well, where were all the political experts the last 4 years? Where was your opinion during all that psychotic madness in the Biden administration? Could you imagine if Trump did fucking 5% of what Biden did? Holy shit. But I says, take a good look at the world right now. I said, they're all impatiently waiting for our destruction. Oh, hold on. What are we doing? We're fighting for the right for a boy to chop off his penis and wear a fucking dress. Now, back to your super adult Nazi name calling thingy that you do so well. Make sure you drop a couple big words so you feel superior. Don't forget your meds while you pretend to be happy, loving, and motivating in your social posts today, bitches. All right, okay, I can see a little aggressiveness in that shit, you know. When you read it out loud on a microphone in your ears, it changes the entire atmosphere. So, where am I going with this? Well, somebody I dearly love. She asked me a question in that post. And the question is that, Rock, I'm just trying to understand. Okay, I appreciate it. But why don't you like transgenders? Oh, huh. So let me, because, I don't get a lot of sleep. Let me get another drink of coffee here real quick. Oh, yeah. Yep. All right. So, I'm curious, and this is the issue that we deal with, and this is where I'm going with my point. Where in that post, anywhere, did I say anything derogatory about transgender people? Where in that post, anywhere, did I say anything negative about transgender people? If I'm saying anything negative, it's towards the maybe the psychotic parents that are convincing their 4-year-old child that, maybe they're not what God meant them to be, And let me reference why I made this post. Because I seen a story about, I think he was 11 years old. Speculating, theoretically, whatever, this is for entertainment. I don't know what you're supposed to say because I don't know all the facts of the story. I just seen the quick story. But what happened was this young boy went in and was having the procedure. And I'm not familiar with the procedures, but obviously it was a serious procedure because there was some medical treatment involved and anesthesia and all that other shit. And the kid didn't want to do it. Got to the hospital, he didn't want to do it. He was begging his mother not to do it. And literally the mother's statement, this is her reaction to all this. Her reaction is that he was so scared because, he's a victim. And so she and the doctor literally there for an hour, they begged him. For an hour, they begged him to have this procedure done. The mother literally admitted that she even offered him money to do this. I lost my shit, man. I did. I lost my shit. Respect is difficult to teach. Ain't that a damn fact? I did. When I saw that, I was just like, this is madness. It's madness. It's madness. And so, if you can't even have an opinion without being labeled as somebody who hates somebody, right? No, I don't hate anybody. Maybe I love the person or maybe I love the species so much that, I understand, that probably 80% of people are going to be psychologically fucked up for the rest of their life. You know, we are walking into a future of madness in regards to all the people that are going to have regrets because they wanted to go and, you know how like in college, you know, you hear these college stories, like the Vegas style stories. When you go to college, you experiment, you go do shit, you go have orgies and tag teams and all that other weird shit. But you don't live your whole life like that. You get out of college, you got it out of your fucking system, and you moved on. No, you know, I mean, how do we know that's not happening a lot with people that want to transition? You know, so we can't just put a dress on people anymore. I mean, we have to go through the full visual fucking effects. You know what I mean? We got to get the drills and the spoons and the scoops and the bulldozers and the fucking helicopters and the military and all this shit. Tax money. I mean, my God. And I'm supposed to accept this as normal. I'm supposed to accept the fact that people identify as a cat as normal. I'm supposed to accept the fact that cats put litter boxes in a fucking bathroom because somebody in the school emotionally thinks they're normal. Fuck no, I'm not. And I'm sorry, you know what? I spent the last 4 years of my life trying to kind of dictate my language because I was trying to accommodate everyone on this fucking planet's emotions. And guess what that did for me? Yeah, look at my situation. The world tried tearing me apart. I tell you, when they say nice guys finish last, you know, when you pull your identity of what created you your entire fucking life and you try to conform to what the corporate, you know, policy behavior type of mentality is in society, you start to, it's like, I don't know what happens. Your frequency is never right. You're always off. Something's different. It's just because you've drifted. You've drifted from your destination. You drifted from your destination because you listened to that motherfucker with the red apple. Instead of following your gut and your heart and your desires. Not theirs, yours. So I don't know any other way to say this shit, man. I don't know any other way to accommodate people's emotions because, you know, you didn't accommodate to mine. You didn't accommodate to a lot of my friends that, you know, when they were in time of need, they didn't get help. They were called Nazis. They didn't get help. They just kept left in jail cells without representation. So I don't know, kind of, you know, meet me in the middle type of bullshit. I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it. You know, I'm not kind of jiving with that whole fucking thing. So, you know what? My opinion is mine. And that's where we're at. And I don't know any other way to say it. I say it the way I say it. So instead of just automatically assuming, because, you know, you believe I'm a Trumper and you believe I'm some fucking right-wing, off-the-nut fucking radical conspiracy theorist, you automatically assume I don't like transgender people. I love every fucking person. Your faith has nothing to do with how much I appreciate you. Your spiritualism has nothing to do with how much I appreciate you. Your job has nothing to do, for sure, for a damn fact, or your career, or your celebrity status, sure as fuck, don't have anything to do with why I appreciate you. I appreciate people because they go through the same shit we all do, and they fight through the same struggles we all do, and they feel the same pain that we do, and they love the same way that, you know, we do, and they hurt the same way we do. We're all the same. We just create our tribes and separate ourselves and then create chaos. And so, you know, do I punish myself for isolating myself more? I don't know anymore. Because, you know, I may feel kind of off because it's not my character and I feel isolated and sometimes the word trapped. And I mean, I feel sorry for Lisa. If anybody's a fucking victim, it's my wife because she has to deal with my shit. You know what I mean? Good luck on that. But it's just like every direction you go, you're walking into somebody's bullshit. And it's just like, man, I'm just kind of, you know, I'm kind of beyond that shit. You know, we get to a point where we just get beyond it and we're done with the shit. And it's just like, man, I just want to live. I want to go fishing. You know, I want to go hang out with some buddies and talk about buttholes, you know, and drink some beer and go blow some shit up. I don't think that's a bad day. That's, you know, but I don't know. So, yeah, so, you know, it's that whole, and, you know, this is what we find ourselves all the time. We find ourselves, even with Trump, we find ourselves defending language and interpretation. Language and interpretation. I'll go back to that post. Where in that post anywhere did I even say anything derogatory about a transgender person? I didn't. And she didn't like the comment I said about the meds too, but prove me wrong. Prove me fucking wrong. Prove me wrong. Go talk to Alex Jones about that and all the fucking medicines that we have in our waterways, because we're so medicated that we have to piss so much of it out. It goes into our rivers and literally effing up our fish. It's like everything is poisoned. Everything is poisoned. And people support that. It's like that's their new way. That's the new way. Is poison everything. Poison all the foods because it tastes good to me. You know, poison all the foods. It's they cannot think beyond their fucking, it's like, my God, we have to defend and debate against people like that, right? And it's just like, how? How is that even possible? We talk about the tariffs. Wow. We realize how much we've been sugar daddy to the world when we take that nipple away. You know what I'm saying? You really realize how much the United States has been sugar daddy to so many fucking people all over the country when you start saying, man, you know, this is a little ridiculous. We just talked about, and Lisa and I talked about, $60 million? Was it $600 million? It was $60 million for condoms for fucking Gaza? This is where I'm at. These, oh my God, they think this is okay. They'll come up with this, oh, well, here, let me explain why. No, why don't you explain why not? You know, why don't you explain why my hard-ass working tax money is going and paying for fucking condoms for them? Because, you know, they're really not even getting them, and they're sure as hell not going to wear them. What are they going to, never mind. Whew. It don't make sense to me. Nothing anymore makes sense to me. What did Stuff say here? Stuff says that just because you live in a fantasy doesn't mean I have to participate in it. Stop pushing it on me and trying to drag me into it. I don't know. I just read it in a weird voice, like a super, like, I don't know. It's weird. I got an interesting list here, and then we're going to get into the tariff thing. I want to talk about that. But yeah, the language thing, it pisses me off. You know, Trump says stuff, and we know what he means. We know what he means. There was that one reporter right after the plane crash. You remember when I was talking about, I'm getting sick and tired of getting up every day to another tragedy? Guess what happened the next day? Holy shit. I was just like, did I just not say this, man? I am prophetic. Oh, did you hear that? That sounded creepy. It sounded like a scary demonic movie voice, man. Like my head just started spinning right now or some shit. What just happened? What? All right. Just because you live in a fantasy doesn't mean. I don't want to do it again. I was going to try to do it again, actually, because I'm still kind of tripped on that sound my voice has made. So I had this, but yeah, so Trump says stuff, and we know what he means. We know what he means. But it's no, they got to twist it. So after that plane crash, that's where I was going. After that plane crash, there was a press conference because, of course, a president doing what a president should do and go and make sure that his people are good. They started asking stupid ass political questions, you know, and so he shoots back. And again, I never justify any behavior, but sooner or later, man, it's just like, all right. Because here's the thing, man. If you start playing just the identical game that is played on us, just that. And I hate that word game, but it's real. It's a game. It's historical. But if we matched what we get, and I hate to separate, but I mean, they would lose their ever-loving mind. They would lose their shit. If we protested the way they protested, if we showed up at events the way showed up at events, you know, especially their events, you know, if we name called, and don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong, ever get me wrong, thinking I talk about the right like we're sitting here shitting glitter, because holy shit, we're far from that. What? Yeah, I said it. All right, cool. All right. That's not how I sound. What? Well, that's how I heard it, okay? Let me get to this damn picture. Jesus. All right, let me get to this because I screenshotted it. All right, let's pull this up. So let me get my glasses. Insert music. Boom. What? So my eyes get big. I was outside wearing these reading glasses, and it was 80 the other day, 80 degrees, and all of a sudden I got this super hard burn on my leg. It was magnifies in the glasses, man. It's that shit, whatever that is, right? To make you see my eyes how they look way bigger. And so in Florida, there's a lot of ants, and I was right by a little ant mound. So I tested it, man. I just did some government shit on ants. I did the laser. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have no blue freaking roofs. Man, I straight governmented the fucking ant mound. You're welcome. You are welcome for me doing that. And they're lucky they weren't fire ants, because I would have sat there all day and just sat there at the door and just had a fucking chimney going, because I hate fire ants. When we went to the storage, there was a fire ant mound the size of like 4 basketballs. Could you imagine falling on that shit? I mean, one fire ant bites you, man, you need time. It'll get you right between the damn toe, and it's just like, whoa, where the you come from? Little Satan shits, you know what I mean? Whew. All right. So this here is, this is how they put it. All right. So I am reading the post here. Whatever I'm supposed to say, insert. Good. All right. President Trump, the deep state, bloodbath in the past 24 hours. So this is kind of what, so the deep state bloodbath in the past 24 hours. That's how that reads. So they're getting language, right? Because the way I've read it at first, it didn't come out right. All right, so here are some of the things that happened in the last 24 hours just with the Trump administration. All federal prosecutors handling January 6th cases fired, computers locked, and marched out of their offices by security. We will circle back to that shit. All right, yeah, we will. All right, next is the David Sundberg, the FBI assistant director at the helm of the January 6th investigations, has been fired. There's another thing that a lot of our friends on the left are super pissed off about. They can't believe it. They can't believe it. It's like, whoa, no, I can't believe a lot of shit he did in his office. Justice is only what you want is justice. We cherry pick the laws that we want. All right, 20 leaders of the FBI field offices have been escorted out of the FBI buildings around the country. Interesting. Let me say something on that. Okay. All right, I will. What's that? Oh, do I have an opinion on that? Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, so to my understanding, there was a total of 26 total FBI agents there that day, and 6 of them were on duty on assignment. The other remaining, which would be right around that number, were not on duty, and they were provocateuring, and there was evidence of that. And this is the big deal about all this, is because even during the hearings, none of this was exposed. None of this was talked about. So we sit here and we watched our political system and our government and our judicial system radicalize people because of political agenda. They radicalized them. They legitimately radicalized them, so much so. Why do I say they radicalized them? Real easy, because they say it verbally, for one. Number two is that when we have air marshals and we decide, when Biden becomes president, that we're just not going to use air marshals anymore, except for any J6er. So the only time an air marshal was ever in an airplane during the entire Biden administration was when he was following a J6er on the plane, because terrorist. Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. And again, I've never defended that. I've never defended anybody or anyone or anything in regards to that, right? There's old elderly people that got fucking arrested and had to do some time and pay a bunch of fines just for being on the ground. So I believe that's kind of like per case type of thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. But I know there's a lot of really good people locked up, and they shouldn't have been. All right. So the 51 intelligence officers who spread misinformation about Hunter Biden's laptop and interfered in elections are now banned from entering federal properties. Holy shit. When they say federal properties, man, that's a lot of shit. That ain't just like the building. That ain't one FBI building. That's federal properties. Damn. All right, so the federal employees are now required to return to the office. Oh, they're losing their shit over that, but I kind of like working at home because, humans. Yeah. So with non-compliance leading to L termination. Yo, with non-compliance leading to to termination. Federal employees are now required to return back to the office. Yeah, because you can technically, because I got away with a lot of shit. I mastered that shit kind of. We even made these things that would automatically tap our mouse every like 2 minutes. So our computer wouldn't shut down, so it showed that we're there. Just getting up, getting coffee or some shit. I wasn't at my desk. I was busy, man. Emergency. I had to poop. I was pooping. You can say it a million times. You can say you were pooping 9 times in one day, and they still can't say shit about it. If you're pooping, you're pooping. Let me see you try to tell them not to poop. Yeah, we know that game. All right, let's see. What's next? John Bolton and John Brennan have been permanently banned from government buildings. Gerald Harold Rogers has been indicted for compromising U.S. trade secrets to China, a ban on all use of pronouns in government communications. Holy shit. Oh. Why did I get so excited about that? It was weird. I mean, it was just like, damn, that was like real shit excitement right there. Weird. All right, let me see. And all 2 million feds sent a resignation offer? What? The purge marks the beginning of the end for the corrupt tyrants in Washington. Wow. So that's a lot of shit in 24 hours. That is a lot of shit in 24 hours. And I guarantee you, man, there's a lot more going on that we don't know of. There's going to be a lot of arrests. There's some things going on right now in regards to Jeffrey Epstein. I posted an article yesterday on StucciMedia.com. This is the shit that I'm following. I'm not following the Diddy stuff unless it has to do with the minor. Then I'll follow that. But, the entire industry pretended they didn't know something was happening for years. The entire industry knew people were being raped, and they did nothing to stop it. And yet, here they are, getting country music awards, right? What's her name, Beyonce? She's got the country music award. Just like that, she just showed up and says, hey, I'm going to fucking sing a song and be country and do a really cool video, on a horse. Yeah, and so she takes it. So all these country artists that are true, genuine country, not ghetto country, not ghetto country, but country, and true, genuine humans that have not saturated an industry, that don't treat their fans like shit, right? These are real people that probably still have a job. And they just do this on the side because they have this work ethic thing, right? And they go to church. And so Beyonce stole that shit from them. And it's just like, so let me ask, serious question, because I may be way wrong here. I may be a little bitter. I'm just saying. If you have somebody who's been an R&B artist their whole life, or, whatever she sings about, and I'm not saying she's a bad singer, could they come in and have a country, a song that's country, and it's a hit? Could they just come in out of nowhere? I mean, is that legit? Am I being off here? Is that legit? Can she do that? Because maybe I'm just being just hyper-focused on it and just angry because I know the mafia lifestyle that goes on, and I know that they get what they want, right? So Taylor Swift is kind of taking over all the pop culture shit, and that kind of shunted over Beyonce over there, and Beyonce don't like that because she still wants to stay relevant, right? Because she's part of the mafioso in the Hollywood stuff. And so, okay, well, go call, your dude, and go have him hire some people and come up with a really cool song with really cool music, with really cool lyrics and a really cool video. And then they will get a hold of all their people, and they're going to push the shit out of it, and they will make it number one real super fucking quick. That ain't by accident, man. That's all that shit's controlled. That's all that shit is controlled. And so, is it good? Like, is that cool? Do you think country singers are pissed? Do you think the country people are pissed? The Western people? What do we say? What do you say when you say that? Because I don't know. I know a lot of people that listen to country, but they're not country. You know what I mean? So, are they upset? Do they think it's fair? Yeah, they found discrepancies, but Biden's people never did. We're finding a whole bunch of discrepancies. We are finding a whole shit ton of discrepancies. And I think that was another thing, too. And did I pull that up? I wanted to see if I pulled that up. 1 second. Lebanese army. Lebanese army. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm reading a story. Trump urged to look into U.S. funding of Lebanese army amid accusations of its ties to Hezbollah. You know, the entire world is kind of united now. And, you know, here's the scariest thing, because there was recently something, I don't know if it was Mangino or who it was, but they were talking about these transformers that get sent over from China. You know what I'm saying? Transformers, big energy things, power grids, things that when you see the fucking sky turn blue, that's usually one blowing up, right? It's kind of weird. But China was supplying the United States with these, and they found that there was, pardon if I'm using the wrong language, but there was somehow some encryptions in there, or there's something in there that gave them the opportunity to hit a kill switch on the power from China, you know, remotely. And so at the time, there was like 300 in the country. Trump becomes president. And you guys remember all this? You remember all this? When I think it was right when Trump became president, he put a ban on using these transformers. And then he started replacing them. So he knocked out, got rid of like 80 of them. Biden becomes president again and reverses the executive order and begins again to allow these transformers back into the United States for main sources of power for major cities. I mean, do you have to be a conspiracy theorist? Do you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, why would he do that? You know, why wouldn't he at least regulate the border? If he was going to manipulate the system to allow illegals to come in, well, you know, why wouldn't he be a little more subtle about it? I mean, they created mobile apps. People within our own government illegally created mobile apps teaching people from around the world how to get into our country illegally. And where's the accountability in that? I mean, it's going to be really hard for me to have to go to court for a driving ticket, you know? Where's the accountability in his son? Where's the accountability in any of that? But they hold Trump to every fucking breath he breathes. You know, every breath he breathes. So everybody's losing their shit now because of this what is it again? Is it DEI, right? Am I saying it right? I think I got it wrong. This is how uninterested of it I am. You know, the whole equality thing within the whatever. Somebody tell me what it is so I can at least say it. Yeah, China can go into, yeah, Steph, thank you, Steph. Thank you. So, yeah, my point on saying that was when you have that, and you have all these transformers in the United States, all over the place in major cities. And then you look at the amount of Chinese, man, God, the amount of Chinese that got into the United States the last 4 years. That's when I talk about these maps were for the Chinese. They were for the Chinese to get here. So they told them what country they needed to get into. And then they told them all the points that they needed to go to. They told them exactly what to say. It's like, why are you so interested, and why is certain individuals within our administration so interested in getting these Chinese into the country illegally? Illegally. I posted a video, and it got taken down. There was 60, 70 of them. They're all just standing in a line, just waiting to get in. And a guy with a camera was sitting there, and he's just going to every one of them, you know. China, 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 you know. Oh, Cambodia. Hey, you're going to get your ass kicked later, bro. They don't like you. So think about the Transformers. And the Transformers having the capabilities of having a kill switch on them. And then think about the amount of just Chinese that got into the United States over the last 4 years. And I guarantee you the number they tell us is not going to be the number that actually happens. How do you document people breaking a fence and coming in illegally? How do you document all those holes up and down the borders where there's no security for miles, not even a camera, and you have, you know, holes in the gate that's 30, 40 feet wide? It's wild, man. So if they activate all those sleeper cells, because that's what it is, they're coming in and establishing sleeper cells. That's not even talking about the more, the radical Muslims. And look at what they've done to Minneapolis. Look at what they've done to Gary, Indiana. Look at what they've done to Dearborn, Michigan. I wouldn't be bitching about it if they don't go in. Here. Let me preface what I'm saying, right? So some of you people right there, so you don't automatically assume I hate people. I wouldn't have the assumptions I have if I could go into some of these towns as an American citizen and be treated like a regular person, like anywhere else I go. Like if I go to the gas station, or if I go to the mall, or if I walk down the sidewalk, and you treated me with the same common decency as I treat you, there would never even be a conversation on how many are there. But the reason we talk about it is because whenever it seems to be especially a white male that goes into these towns, they get driven out. They get followed. They get stalked. And I'm not being theoretical on this because this is what happened to me, John Ward, and Scotty Roberts. This was a real experience for us. So, our bitterness isn't because we just hate. Our bitterness is our disappointment in this empowerment of these psychopaths. And then that, they get this ability to get away with this shit. And then the tax-paying working class citizen can't even have a fucking opinion. We've been forced to shut up. We've been forced to shut up and we don't realize it. And we're still pumping our fucking chest with the flag in the air saying freedom. Don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me. So we have to sit here now and listen to all these countries play victim. Play victim because we are looking at, here, if you were running a business, how did I put it this morning? When we were trying to reference the tariffs and understanding business. All right, so when you have a situation in your household and you run into financial problems, because when things are going real good, you start spending, and like with me, I'm terrible at this shit. I always try new apps, and then the free trial ends, and then somehow I just pay for it, So it's kind of a trap, I think. But, and then all of a sudden, that money isn't coming in, so then you had to kind of reconsolidate shit. So during the reconsolidation process, you start identifying wasteful spending. And you start eliminating wasteful spending. Now, you don't give the wasteful spending, you don't call these companies, these app companies, and be like, hey, I just want to let you know, bitch, that I'm giving you 2 months, and then I'm canceling my $9.99 a month subscription because it's just not working and I'm broke, right? You ain't going to do that. You're going to cancel it. It's going to be done. And so when you have somebody with the business mind, and then you have somebody with the ideological view of true Americanism, I believe that. I truly believe that. They go into a situation to where it's their job as a business professional to look at the finances of the corporation of the United States and to identify wasteful fucking spending. I'm sorry, I don't want to pay $60 million fucking dollars for condoms for pieces of shit that fucking hate me. I don't want to pay for transgender studies over in fucking some little fucking village in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to pay for this shit. And you know what? Why should we? Why should we? Why should we when we're fucking, why am I saying the F word so much? The amount that we get taxed, the average single working class person, the amount of money that we get taxed. Think about that. We have to sit here and listen to the world get mad because we are cutting off this incredible wasteful spending. Nobody's even bitching about, Ukrainian officials driving around Bentleys. Isn't that weird? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that weird that Ukrainian government officials are driving around fucking $250,000 cars? Weird. But here's Americans broke. Here's North Carolinians still in fucking tents, right? California is a piece of charcoal. We'll get you when FEMA says it's okay. And I had to sit here and listen to Canada, bitch. I had to sit here and listen to Mexico, bitch, when they were part of pushing in all these illegals that cost this country multi-billions of dollars and taking care of these people, which, again, came from the pockets of the people with no money. The people that were figuring out how to eat. People figuring out how to feed their children. They had to figure out a way how to feed the fucking world too. And when we have a grievance, we ain't got shit. The whole world turns to their back. You made too much money, son. We can't help you. Yeah, you don't qualify. You haven't been homeless for 4 months. Joshua, good morning, my brother. Yep, and he just shut down. Yep, the USAID. There's another thing. All right, we did shows, a shit ton of them. You guys probably remember some of them, where we talked about these nonprofit organizations. We talked about these nonprofit organizations and the actual amounts that go into helping starving kids. Because you'd really hope, and you understand that there's operational costs. And so I've been through this whole phase, right? Corporate level, behind the scenes, my own shit for other people. And I've seen things that are beneficial. I've seen things that people struggle with. Like when you go, and a lot of people have this thing where they feel like they have to buy everything when they first start a business. And then they automatically put themselves in this huge amount of debt. And then there's people that realize that, man, you don't need all that shit and you can build up to it. And that way you actually have structure, flow, and then you don't have to be as desperate to try to recover costs, because then when you're desperate, then you start doing uncharacteristic things to try to produce. And it's you're taking yourself out of that natural flow, right? But when you look at the amount of money that these organizations like UNICEF, I think UNICEF was in the tune, I'm not being 100% accurate here, I think it was in the tune of 7 cents or 3 cents for every dollar. It was incredible. I think they were the worst. It was 3 cents for every dollar or 4 cents for every dollar that actually went into buying some bags of rice for starving kids in Africa, because they went in and they have such an expensive daily running operational cost that all the money that they had to work for donations has to go for all those fucking buildings, those employees that they have, their spending expenses, their travel expenses, and probably vacations, So when we have these government organizations now, or USAID, or even organizations like the FDA, the IRS, you start looking at their spending, and they're going to get ripped apart. And if any American thinks that they can go in and deal with a situation in their household to where they have to do a cost analysis of their financial situation, and they realize they have to make a bunch of cuts, they make those cuts. So if you're telling me that logically in your home, that those are what you have to do, right? That's the right thing to do. That's, that's what else are you going to do? Then why wouldn't you expect your government? Because your businesses are doing it. I ran multiple businesses. I understand that, man. We do this shit all the time. We control that shit. We control purchases and all that, all that kind of flow. So why in our homes we can do it? Why in our businesses we can do it? Why in our corporations we can do it? But the second Daddy Trump does it, as I would expect our president to do, to try to start giving that fucking money back to our economy, back to the American people, back to us, This is why they went after Trump, and this is why they demonized the word nationalist, right? Because by definition, just across the board, by definition, a nationalist is somebody who has great pride in their nation. Somebody who has great pride in their nation. It doesn't say somebody who has great pride in their nation with a Nazi flag on their shoulder, giving the fucking Nazi sign. It doesn't say that in the description. It's just somebody who just loves their country and believes in their nation and will take care of their nation before anybody else, because that's how nations survive. That's how nations survive. When you historically look at nations that haven't survived, why haven't they survived? Just go look at it historically. But we don't learn from history, right? Remember that? So I don't know. I think all these organizations, so I know people are losing their shit, and people are posting on social media like it's apocalyptic, like it's the end of the fucking world. And I'm sitting back saying, wow, he's doing what I would expect him to do without even asking. That's what I'm saying. Yes, man, tear that shit up, rip it apart, because they don't need half of what they have. Oh, they're sending, you know what? Who people should be pissed off at are the ones who were doing the misspending, which ones that created the false opportunities because they needed to justify that money so they can continue to get that amount of money and used you as the pawn to do it. So maybe you shouldn't be mad at Trump for doing what he's expected to do. Maybe you should be mad at the people that actually created the fucking problem. Maybe we should start with that every once in a while. It's always Trump. It's always Trump's fault. I'm sorry, this is what I expect the president to do. I don't know any other way to say it. And I'm assuming a lot of you are kind of in agreement with me, or a lot of people that listen to me at least are in agreement with me, that these are results. You know, and the one question I had for the first 4 years, because it was so chaotic, was, you know, man, that swamp sure as fuck isn't getting drained. But, you know, and this is me now, right? This is the result of somebody who I don't think I was ever overreactionary on certain things. Like, he kept saying drain the swamp, but I needed to see the shit done, right? I needed to see it done. I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to see it. And he had so much kickback, and then he had COVID, and then all this other shit happened, and so he only tickled the swamp. His first term, he only tickled the swamp. But that was foreplay. That was foreplay, because he is back, and he's inserted. He's fully inserted. And if he truly says that he's going to make America great again, well, that's also getting it back to financial stability and getting it back to a pace to where there's growth in households. You know, where the households are growing with the average, the yearly GDP growth. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He's doing what he said he was going to do, Josh said. 100%, bro. I've never been more pro-Trump than I am right now. Honest to God, bro. You've heard me, dude. You've heard me over the years. I used to get so mad at him. I used to get mad at him like we get mad at a friend because he's saying stupid shit. You know, when they announced that he had the historical unemployment for black men, I mean, my God, you know, I was shocked that the streets weren't full of people celebrating because, you know, in regards to black history and black, you know, everything that has been fought for in regards to the black communities, that, to me, I'm just saying that would have been a monstrous achievement, and I think that's something that should have been front and center. There should be a fucking holiday for that shit. You know, I mean, that is incredible. It was beautiful. But no, what happened? They triggered him and they poked him in the damn chest, and he goes and said something stupid about something else, and that's what everybody was talking about. They weren't even paying attention to this incredible, what something seemed undeemable because of, you know, whatever. Right? It just went away. I think the bathroom situation was more important, you know, or Colin Kaepernick or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I just looked at the clock, and yeah, you know, I read a couple comments. I appreciate you guys saying what you say because it kind of helps me get through the show. You know, it's weird because all night long I have all these thoughts, and I'm like, I don't need to write that down. Shit, I'm going to be talking about it in 3 hours. I forget everything. Every single effing word. You know what I mean? So anyways, I love you guys. Monday through Friday. We're right here at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 100% guaranteed on my YouTube channel. Sometimes I go to Facebook, sometimes I don't. But it's youtube.com/@Stucci Media. And just go to StucciMedia.com, StucciMedia.com. I'm doing a package right now if you're a podcaster, if you're doing any of that kind of stuff. It's a $125 special. It's a great, great deal. I know for people like me, I wouldn't be able to afford it. I understand. But it's the best I could do. But I fully package your podcast. I give you one reel, and then I also write a full featured article on it. And that's $125 per episode. You can have up to 2 hours. So anyways, folks, I appreciate you. I love you. Josh, thanks. I love you too, bro. He says, we'll catch the rest of the show in a few. Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, be here or be nowhere. From my family to yours, folks, much love, much respect, and always, as I always say, freaking A, man, don't forget rule number one. Don't take shit from nobody. See you guys.